This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 4th day of August in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali today swore in Justice Roxanne George as acting Chancellor of the local judiciary and Justice Navindra Singh as acting Chief Justice. The temporary appointments were made as Justice Unit Cummings, who has been performing the functions of Chancellor, has headed off on 2 months of vacation leave. The swearing-in ceremony was held at the office of the President. The media was not invited to cover the event. However, in a brief statement published on the official Facebook page of the Office of the President, the government said the appointments were made in the interest of maintaining continuity and ensuring the efficient functioning of the judiciary in the offices of Chancellor and Chief Justice. Alluding to remarks made by the President during the swearing-in ceremony, the Office of the President said that the temporary filling of Justice Cummings' absence reflects the administration's commitment to justice, fairness, and the rule of law, which it says are essential to the country's democratic framework. Ahead of the appointments, President Irfan Ali had written to the leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, detailing his nominees for the acting positions, but Mr. Norton declined to respond to the recommendations. At the time, Norton said his response could have been interpreted as meaningful consultation, and as such, in a strategic move, he opted not to respond to the President. Norton has been pressing the President since he became opposition leader to confirm Justice Cummings as Chancellor and Justice George as Chief Justice. The two have been in the acting positions since 2017 under the former government. For a Chancellor and Chief Justice to be appointed, there must be agreement between the President and the opposition leader, as required by the Constitution. Though not objecting to the appointment of Justice George as the acting Chancellor, Norton criticized the President's nominee for the acting Chief Justice post, pointing out that there were more senior judges who were overlooked for the acting appointment. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We voting for the PPPC again.
Bartico Region 7, get ready! It's your turn to join the red tsunami of support for another 5 years of transformational development for all Guyanese under the People's Progressive Party Civic. Stand strong with the PPPC on the road to elections victory
on Saturday, August 9th at Bell Square, 2nd Avenue, Bartico.
At 4 p.m. Hear from President Dr. Irfan Ali, General Secretary Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, and other leaders who have been in the forefront of Guyana's historic transformation. Be there as the PPPC outlines their national development plans for the next 5 years of continued bold initiatives in education, healthcare delivery, entrepreneurship, agriculture, home ownership, job opportunities, youth development, and recreational infrastructure. Rally with the PPPC
on Saturday, August 9th at Bell Square, 2nd Avenue, Bartico.
At 4 p.m. The PPPC is the only multi-ethnic and trusted political party committed to ensuring no community is left behind. Vote PPPC. Forward together for a better Guyana.
Miss Shirley, Miss Shirley, help me out now, please. Why everyone telling me I must exercise my right to vote? Me ain't got time for that. Why must I vote?
Why must you vote? That is your constitutional right and civic duty, my child. Besides, think about this. Government officials make decisions that affect the well-being of you, your family, and community. By voting for a party of your choice, you will be electing the people who will be making these very important decisions. If you don't vote, then you will allow the people who vote to choose government officials without your input. Those others may not share your views about issues that matter to you.
Wait. Is so much voting means to me? And I the playing the fool? I definitely gonna vote on election day.
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Join the Calaco family. We offer small class sizes with tuition fees starting at $24,000 per term. We welcome students from pre-K, nursery, and primary levels. Contact us on 2255731 or via WhatsApp at 6396007. Visit us at 9 Thomas Road, Thomas Lands, adjacent to Queens College. At Calaco, we are more than just a school. We are a family.
Well, a fired-up former APNU AFC Member of Parliament, Jerem Faggera, encouraged his hometown of Linden on Sunday to change their political allegiance and throw their support behind the governing People's Progressive Party Civic at the upcoming elections. Faggera served as an APNU AFC Member of Parliament for the past 10 years, but he resigned from his party recently and endorsed the president after the dissolution of the parliament in preparation for the upcoming elections. Speaking at the PP rally in Wisma, Linden on Sunday afternoon, Mr. Figueira stared from behind dark shades, telling party supporters in Linden that the town is being transformed under the current government, and that transformation must be allowed to continue.
We are seeing the changes. We are experiencing the changes. And come September 1st, we are going to vote for the man who is bringing that change. On September 1st, Linden and Region 10, we are voting solidly for Dr. Mohammed Efran Ali.
Declaring that Linden is part of the rapid development that is taking place across the country, Figueira said there can be no denying that the transformation taking place is simultaneous.
There is a cobweb of new road networks in Linden and Region 10. Simultaneously being done. Comrades, this is not marginalization. This is transformation. Comrades, this is not discrimination. This is development. Comrades, the road to development is the building of roads. They will come and say, you cannot eat roads. But you say to them, it is the building of roads that is causing our families to eat. It is the building of roads that is putting money in the pockets of families. Say to them, it is the building of roads that is putting monies in the pockets of people and creating empowerment and employment.
The former chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly told those gathered at the Linden rally that while his former party has made promises, it is the current governing party, being led by the president, that has been delivering to the people of Linden and the rest of Guyana. Figueira pointed to the still-to-be-completed Mackenzie Stadium, which is replacing the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, the new Mackenzie-Wisma Bridge, which is nearing completion, and the Linden to Mabura Road as major projects that are being undertaken by the current regime. And pouring cold water on the other presidential candidates in the race, Mr. Figueira, who once introduced APNU presidential candidate Aubrey Norton as the next president of Guyana, told Lindeners on Sunday that the rest of Guyana should stay the course with the PPP Civic, as he believes President Ali is far more superior than the other candidates and has a greater vision for the country. Still with the countdown to elections, an APNU-led administration plans to reduce the age requirement for land applicants and make housing more affordable, according to senior party member and candidate Ganesh Mahipal. In October 2020, the current government raised the age for land applications to 21 years old, after it had been reduced to 18 years under the APNU AFC government. Outlining snippets of the APNU's housing policy on Saturday in New Amsterdam, Mr. Mahipal said the age for land application will match the voting age under an APNU government.
I am saying to you, with the confidence of our President Aubrey Norton, that the one among several other actions on September 1st will be to remove that age of 21 and take it to 18 years old. If at 18 years old you are old enough to vote, then you are old enough to own your own home.
Mahipal said that the APNU's rent-to-own policy, home ownership will become more accessible and more affordable. He also told Berbishans that the APNU will completely remove the duty and excise tax on four-door pickups if it gets into office, to assist farmers and those in business.
We will remove duty, excise tax and VAT from the four-door pickups, and we will have a flat 15% on the cost of the vehicle as your tax, and you will take it home as yours at a far cheaper rate.
He detailed APNU's plans to raise the tax threshold to $400,000 per month, increase wages of public sector workers, teachers, nurses, and disciplined forces up to 35%, increase the old age pension to $100,000 per month, and pay students in tertiary and technical institutes a stipend of $50,000 per month. The measures aside, Mahipal accused the PP Civic Administration of fostering injustice and the violation of basic human rights. He said hundreds of Guyanese mothers and fathers across the length and breadth of the country are still in mourning over the loss of their loved ones.
I say to you, when we take office, we will have a special office set up so that those families can come, register their complaint, tell us their story, and we will bring justice to the families. We will bring justice to the families. Too many of our Guyanese brothers and sisters have lost their lives tragically, and families are mourning. We must deliver justice to every family, and that includes the family of the late Satyadeo Usaw, a minister of the People's Progressive Party.
Mahipal said to address injustice, corruption, and the poor management of the country's finances, Guyanese must vote the PP Civic out of office. He said he believes the APNU is the change needed in the country. Battling to turn the voting tide in Linden and get the town behind his party, President Irfan Ali on Sunday stood on the west side of the Demerara River in the town and said his government has done everything that it could to alleviate the impact of the rise in the cost of living, promising to do more in the next term. Addressing party supporters at a rally, the president said, while the government cannot control the global market, it will be taking additional steps to lessen the impact of global prices here in Guyana.
But guess what? We are not comfortable saying that we don't control the world market prices. That is why we have set ourselves a bold vision going forward. And in that vision, we are going to invest in every form of food security so that we don't have the imported price inflation on food and food products. That is why the dairy farm is not only about a 25 million US investment. The future is about our ability to manufacture our own milk right here, our powder milk, our tin milk, our evaporated milk, so that we can control the cost. And with the reduction in electricity costs by more than 50% that is coming ahead of us, we will be able to do those things so we can further control the impact of costs.
The rise in the cost of living continues to be a major issue in the country, with many citizens complaining openly about the impact it is having on their daily lives. The president said over the past 5 years, his government has taken several steps to address that impact, including the removal of taxes on fuel imports and the increasing of the subsidies on electricity and the 5% reduction in water charges. He said moving forward, the government under his watch intends to move ahead with plans that will directly impact farmers, and he believes that impact will result in lower food prices.
That is why we are investing in building a new fertilizer plant so that our farmers can have a consistent supply of fertilizer at a consistent price, and we are not at the mercy of the international transport system. That is why we're investing to ensure that the health expenditure and the education expenditure for every family is reduced to zero, regardless of what health service or what education service you have to get. The government will take that expenditure on your behalf.
Mr. Ali also pointed out the opening of new hospitals in a number of regions and the introduction of health vouchers as part of his plans to reduce the direct impact of the cost of living on citizens. He said that PPP is a party of plans and vision and strategies and wants an overwhelming majority in the parliament to be the result of the upcoming elections so that the party can forge ahead with its many plans and strategies.
When they tell you they will give you more grants, higher pension, more salaries, they are not telling you anything new. Tell them that the PPP is the one who have already given you that, and you are guaranteed more and more and more of that.
In laying out his vision for another 5 years in office, the president said his party's vision in government is about investing in productivity, investing in capabilities and expanding the market reach, job creation, and enabling part-time workers to graduate to full-time jobs. He said there will be major investments in the town of Linden through economic empowerment and entrepreneurship and the operationalization of a development bank that will benefit and provide easier access to financing for those in business and those seeking to become business owners. The PPP has always faced an uphill task in its repeated efforts to convince Lindeners to throw their support behind the party. Linden and Region 10 have voted overwhelmingly over the years for the People's National Congress reform, and the PNC led a partnership for national unity.
How to vote. Having been identified as the voter you claim to be, you will be given a ballot paper that is stamped at the back on the top section as well as the bottom section in your presence. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice. Once at the top section where you vote for the general election and once at the bottom section where you vote for the regional election. Look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the top section of the ballot paper and mark your X in the empty box next to the party's symbol. Then look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the bottom section and mark your X in the empty box next to the party's symbol. After you have voted, fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official, dip the first joint of your right index finger in the ink provided, then place the ballot paper in the ballot box. You will then have to peacefully depart the polling station. For more information, contact the GCOM on 2250-27729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We ready, time to remove the curse. The APNU Coalition Campaign now moves to Region 10, Linden Town. On Sunday, August 10th at the Palm Tree Cinema Square from 4 p.m. Come hear from our candidates. Come hear about our people-centered development strategy that puts people first. Come hear from our Prime Ministerial candidate, Jurita Fernandez, our presidential candidate, Aubrey C. Norton, and others. On Sunday, August 10th from 4 p.m. Linden Town. The Palm Tree Cinema Square will vibrate with a people-powered campaign. APNU, putting people first. We ready, time to remove the curse.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Monday, September 1, 2025 is Election Day. It is your constitutional right to vote at the elections, provided you are listed in the official list of electors. As a voter, you have certain rights. Example, the right to attend political meetings and rallies, know the various political parties and their stance on important national issues. Vote as your conscience tells you. You also have responsibilities which include voting only once for the general election and once for the regional election, respecting the voting rights of other electors, doing nothing to obstruct the election process. Vote early on election day for the political party of your choice. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Still on the campaign trail tonight, we head to the ancient county of Berbice and New Amsterdam. Hammering the People's Progressive Party's civic government over its handling of the country's resources, business executive and APNU candidate Dr. Terence Campbell told New Amsterdam residents that the APNU government will prudently manage the country's resources, including the oil and gas sector. Dr. Campbell was among the APNU candidates that took the stage in New Amsterdam on Saturday night at the party's rally in the Berbice area. Campbell, who is a member of the Natural Resource Fund Investment Committee, accused the Irfan Ali administration of squandering the country's resources.
I sit on the investment committee of the oil fund, and they will just send a letter and say, we want 300 million, we want 100 million, with no proper reason, and they spend it all out. They spend out 95% of the money that we earn from oil every year. A few years ago, they said they wanted 75, and they got drunk on the money, and they gone all the way to 95. Every single cent of your oil money is being spent crazy by the PPP.
Campbell said while the Ali administration boasts of spending billions of dollars in infrastructure development, the reality underground is that citizens are left to contend with substandard roads and bridges and ill-equipped hospitals that lack human resources. Promising that the APNU will turn things around, Dr. Campbell said an APNU-led government will save a minimum of 25% of the financial resources generated by the oil and gas sector every year.
APNU government will save a minimum of 25% of our oil money every year. And in Ghana, they have the same mechanism like us. Oil money come in, you put it in the consolidated fund and you spend it. But in Ghana, they account for every single cent. If they build a dog kennel, they account for it. And the APNU government will account for every single cent of the oil money that we collect. We will account to you because it's your money.
And warning citizens to take heed, Dr. Campbell said the PP Civic administration has a track record of poorly managing the country's financial resources. To this end, he pointed to the Skelton Sugar Factory and the fiber optic cable project as among the many projects by the PPP that fell apart after billions of dollars were spent. He added to that the PPP government has been single sourcing billions in pharmaceuticals from a close friend of the vice president, and still persons are being sent to private pharmacies for medical supplies. The APNU candidate said now with billions in oil revenue, the Ali administration has initiated a multi-billion-dollar gas-to-shore energy project in the absence of a feasibility study. According to Dr. Campbell, the cost of the project is already climbing, while deadlines are being missed repeatedly. Pointing to the country's economic growth, Campbell concluded that it is purely as a result of developments in the oil and gas sector, and not as a result of the PPP.
The PPP was in charge in 2013 and economic growth was 5.2%, right? In 2014, it was 3.8%. It already fallen. By 2015, it was 3%. The APNU AFC government inherited an economy from the PPP that was in recession. And we had to stabilize it. And by 2019, economic growth was back up again, 4.7%. And by 2020, and remember, APNU AFC ran the country for 8 months in 2020, and economic growth was 43.5%. Let them not tell you that the APNU AFC government was a waste of time. That is not true. Debunk it. Every government makes some mistakes, and they made some mistakes, but they did a good job stabilizing this economy.
He said the APNU AFC government had created 15,000 jobs in the country, increased public sector wages by 77%, and improved power generation and supply in the country. Going forward, the APNU is hoping to create 40,000 new jobs, increase the salaries of public sector workers while raising the tax threshold to $400,000 per month, and address the high cost of living through a number of fiscal measures. Dr. Campbell said come September 1, Guyanese must make an important decision on whether they want to see the prudent management of the country.
And you have a clear choice to make. You have to make a choice between poverty or fair distribution of our wealth. You have to make a choice between corruption with lands, corruption with contracts, corruption with GPL, corruption in the police force, corruption with firearm license, corruption everywhere. You have to make a choice between corruption and integrity. You must make a choice for justice or injustice.
He also said as it is right now, there is nothing to smile about as thousands of Guyanese remain in poverty and thousands more are struggling to make ends meet. The European Union, the EU, has launched an election observation mission to Guyana for the upcoming elections. The mission is being led by Robert Biedron, who is a member of the European Parliament from Poland. At the press conference on Friday, Mr. Bidron explained that the EU Election Observer Mission will observe and analyze all aspects of the electoral process, including the election administration, the legal framework, conduct of the campaign, involvement of civil society and media coverage, including on digital and social media platforms. He said the mission will assess compliance with Guyana's electoral laws, as well as regional and international commitments to democratic elections.
We will assess the extent to which the elections comply with the laws of Guyana, as well as Guyana's international and regional commitments for democratic elections. Our role is to observe the entire electoral process.
Already, the core team on the ground has held meetings with several stakeholders, including institutional representatives, leaders of political parties, and representatives of civil society. Bidron said in total, 50 EU observers are expected to arrive in the Guyana. The mission is the second full-scale EU observation mission to the country.
On August 6th, we will deploy 14 long-term observers across all 10 regions of Guyana. They will observe electoral preparations, campaigning, and the broader political environment, and report back to our core team in Georgetown. Their observations will contribute to the mission's impartial and informed assessment of the electoral process. Shortly before Election Day, we will be joined by additional 20 short-term observers who will observe voting and the tabulation of results. Altogether, we will expect to have around 50 observers on the ground.
And he said the presence of the EU election mission demonstrates the EU's commitment to inclusive, transparent, and credible elections in Guyana, emphasizing that the mission is fully independent and is operating separate and apart from the EU delegation in Guyana, EU member states, and other EU institutions. Bidron made it clear that the mission at no time will interfere with the country's electoral process. He stressed that the objective is to observe, noting that the mission's only concern is about the integrity of the process.
EU observers follow a strict code of conduct for international observers, in line with the Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation, endorsed by the United Nations. They do not, and I want to underline that, interfere in the electoral processes on any stage.
2 days after the September 1st elections, the EU mission will issue a preliminary report on its initial findings. However, a comprehensive final report, which will include recommendations for possible electoral reform, will be published and presented 2 months after, at the conclusion of the elections. Faced with at least 2 commercial banks taking steps to close the accounts of its candidates, the We Invest in Nationhood Party has issued a call for the 2 banks to be boycotted, along with their affiliated businesses. The call by WIN has been condemned by both the Private Sector Commission and the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce. Since nomination day, at least 2 commercial banks, the Marara Bank Limited and GBTI, have closed the accounts of a number of persons who have appeared on the candidates list of the WIN party. The move by the banks appears related to the WIN presidential candidate Azruddin Mohammed being under U.S. government sanctions over allegations of tax evasion and gold on the declaration. But WIN believes that the closures of the accounts of its candidates is politically motivated, and it blames the PP civic government over that move. The party in a statement said it is not an accident, and it is a clear, calculated, and cowardly attack against a legitimate political movement contesting the upcoming elections. While the banks have not released any public statement on the closure of the accounts of the candidates, GBTI was quoted in the Stabroek News as indicating that it will continually monitor the risk profile of its customers, and when changes are beyond the bank's risk appetite, the bank exits such relationship. In response to the boycott call by the Wind Party, the Private Sector Commission said the party's call is reckless, inflammatory, and both politically and economically irresponsible. The Private Sector Commission said it will not support, condone, or remain silent in the face of any effort to destabilize the country's political or economic environment or to intimidate its members. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in condemning the boycott call by the Wind Party, said to advocate for the boycotting of the banks and businesses associated with them is dubious and self-serving. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in condemning the boycott call by the Wind Party, said to advocate for the boycotting of the banks and businesses associated with them is dubious and self-serving, and it believes such calls must be strongly rejected by the public. The Chamber of Commerce said businesses are not political battlegrounds, and the calls by the Wind Party must be rejected. The Wind Party has stated that it will not back down and will not be bullied or silenced. There are reports that at least one other commercial bank has also been looking to close the accounts of party candidates.
Friend, give me a minute now. I want you to clear something up for me.
Okay. What is it, ma'am? Why you look so confused?
I hear all this talk about elections and voting, but I really don't understand how this could affect me.
All right. It's like this. Once you were registered by GCOM and you were 18 years or older by June 30th, 2025, you are entitled to vote, provided that you are listed in the official list of electors.
Well, I registered and I'm over 18, but how I would know if my name is on the official list of electors?
That's very easy. GCOM is displaying the official list of electors at two popular places in the community where you live. Just go there and check the list. Or you can go to GCOM's website and use the search tool.
Oh, what? Thanks. I'm going and doing it now. Yeah. My name on the list. I definitely voting at elections.
Nice.
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Turbo with a new look, new style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab one. Me charge up with a Turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with Turbo Can. Turbo Can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
We ready, time to remove the curse. The APNU Coalition Campaign now moves to Region 10, Linden Town. On Sunday, August 10th at the Palm Tree Cinema Square from 4 p.m. Come hear from our candidates. Come hear about our people-centered development strategy that puts people first. Come hear from our Prime Ministerial candidate, Jurita Fernandez, our presidential candidate, Aubrey C. Norton, and others. On Sunday, August 10th from 4 p.m. Linden Town. The Palm Tree Cinema Square will vibrate with a people-powered campaign. APNU, putting people first.
Time to remove the curse.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Gaia is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Gaia's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Gaia has now repositioned itself as market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. General Secretary of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, Dr. Horace Chang, says the general election will be held no later than September, urging party workers to mobilize early and decisively. Speaking at an appreciation function for party workers in St. James Southern on Sunday, Chang declared that the government will be responsible and operate within the laws of the country. Chang's announcement has effectively set the countdown in motion, with both political camps now expected to accelerate their ground operations ahead of what may be a summer showdown at the polls. The veteran politician, who also serves as Member of Parliament for St. James Northwestern, emphasized the need for discipline and preparation. Venezuela's oil exports declined about 10% in July from the previous month, as key partners of the state company PDVSA awaited U.S. authorizations to expand operations in the country, according to vessel tracking data and company documents. Washington in late July greenlit producer Chevron to operate in the sanctioned country and export its crude to the U.S. under a restricted license that does not allow any payment to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's administration. Other PDVSA partners are still waiting for similar authorizations. Chevron's chief executive officer said on Friday that the company expects to resume exports of Venezuelan oil to the U.S. this month under the new license in a limited amount. He did not elaborate on the terms of the authorization, which was issued privately to the company. Venezuela exported an average of 727,000 barrels per day of crude and refined products last month, below the 807,000 barrels per day recorded in June. The OPEC country also shipped 227,000 metric tons of oil, byproducts, and petrochemicals in July, in line with the previous month. And finally tonight, international news. China's independent oil companies are ramping up operations in Iraq, investing billions of dollars in OPEC's number 2 producer, even as some global majors have scaled back from a market dominated by Beijing's big state-run farms. According to Reuters, drawn by more lucrative contract arrangements, smaller Chinese producers are on track to double their output in Iraq to 500,000 barrels per day by around 2030, according to estimates by executives at 4 of the farms, a figure not previously reported. For Baghdad, which is also seeking to lure global giants, the growing presence of the mostly privately run Chinese players marks a shift as Iraq comes under growing pressure to accelerate projects, according to multiple Iraqi energy officials. In recent years, Iraq's oil ministry had pushed back on rising Chinese control over its oil fields. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.